This is Matador News, and these are today's headlines. Iraqi forces fight ISIS into Crete.
They're finding human bodies.
11 killed in military chopper crash. And CSUN seniors line up for Grad Fest.
Hello and welcome to Matador News. I'm Cristal Canedo.
And I'm Ashton Smith. 7 Marines and 4 Army aircrew are presumed dead after their Black Hawk helicopter crashed off the coast of Florida. Defense Secretary Ashton says the helicopter crashed into waters off the Florida Panhandle during a nighttime training mission.
We know there were 4 aircrew, Army from a National Guard unit in Hammond, Louisiana, and 7 Marines assigned to Camp Lejeune, North Carolina, on board that helicopter.
An Eglin Air Force Base spokesperson says human remains have washed ashore in the area near the base earlier today. The Black Hawk was first reported missing during foggy conditions Tuesday night. The Air Force, Coast Guard, and civilian agencies are still intensively searching where they believe their aircraft went down.
Iraqi soldiers are taking the key city of Tikrit from ISIS forces. Secretary of State John Kerry says the extremists must be stopped because of their crimes against civilization.
The seizure of land, the theft of resources, the incitement of terrorism across the globe, the killing and attacking of people simply for what they believe or for who they are.
The Tigris River is located about 80 miles north of Baghdad. Allied forces swept into Tikrit from the south to squeeze out the militants. If Iraqi soldiers succeed in taking over Tikrit, it would open a supply line for a future operation to attack Mosul, the second largest city under the ISIS control.
Chances that a big earthquake will hit California in the near future are now higher than before. The U.S. Geological Survey says the chance of a magnitude 8 earthquake will hit in the next 3 days has been raised from 4% to 7%. Scientists say the reason for the increased estimate is because earthquakes can start on one fault and jump to others, resulting in a megaquake. A magnitude 8 earthquake in California can now be expected every 494 years instead of 617 years as earlier predicted. Experts say they cannot predict the date and time of the next big earthquake, but they are getting better at modeling the possibilities.
The Associated Press is filing a lawsuit against the State Department to force the release of government emails from Hillary Clinton's personal email account. Yesterday, the former Secretary of State spoke to hundreds of reporters.
Looking back, it would have been better if I simply used a second email account and carried a second phone.
Clinton says she is willing to release over 55,000 pages of her emails. But critics say that it's not enough because they believe she may have deleted important emails before turning the rest into the State Department.
A Connecticut teen is in remission after nearly 6 months of forced chemo for Hodgkin's lymphoma. Cassandra C., as identified in court papers, was diagnosed with cancer earlier in the year. Her mother, Jackie Fortin, opposed chemo because her daughter didn't want it to poison her body.
I can't even describe it because, like I said, this is the first time we've been separated. It was Christmas, first Christmas we've been apart.
After the family missed follow-up appointments, the state's Department of Children and Family feared medical neglect. The department was granted temporary custody of the teen to treat her cancer. Cassandra's attorney is trying to persuade the judge to let her return to her mother's custody. Cassandra may be cancer-free with only 2 treatments left.
Seniors here at CSUN are getting ready for graduation. Let's go to the newsroom where Matador News reporter Kelly Hernandez has more on Grad Fest.
They're lining up, they're shooting senior pictures, they're buying ceremony packages and ordering caps and gowns. Grad Fest is here. Graduation is around the corner and seniors are anxious to walk across into the real world. Long years of hard work are finally going to pay off in less than 6 weeks. Today and tomorrow will be the only days that Grad Fest is on. Seniors are not required to attend, but it's highly recommended. Seniors at Grad Fest today are saying it's a surreal moment.
I'm really excited for graduation because I feel like it will open doors for my career and it's to the face to the next chapter of my life. And
just hitting me now, the line here, getting our cap and gown, like I haven't thought about it. and now it's like it's coming up.
I'm nervous, excited, and sad at the same time.
I'm more, it's about time than sad. I'm more excited, ready for that time.
Grad Fest will be held at the Matador Bookstore till 6 in the afternoon today and from 9 to 6 tomorrow. And now here's Jennifer with the business news.
Apple has announced a global outage shutting down iTunes, iBooks, and app stores. The rare breakdown is leaving millions of mobile device lovers in frustration and venting on social media. The company has listed the services as unavailable for all users. Customers are unable to make purchases and even sign into their iCloud accounts. The shutdown is costing the company huge sums of money, as Apple is reportedly losing $1.2 million an hour. Google's CFO says he is stepping down to enjoy more time with his family. Patrick Pichette has been Google's CFO for 7 years, but says he has been working too much for nearly 30 years. His base salary and cash bonus in 2012 and 2013 were about $3.5 million a year. Pichette has more than 6,000 stock options worth about $14 million if cashed today. The 52-year-old says his wife inspired his early retirement decision when she suggested a round-the-world trip. Pichette says he is truly grateful to be at a point in life where he no longer has to make tough choices. And now to health with Jordan Saucedo, who has some interesting news about alcohol.
Thanks, Jennifer. A new study has found the lower a man's IQ is, the more likely he is to get drunk. Researchers in Sweden have discovered men with a lower IQ will most likely make lifestyle choices that lead them to heavier drinking. A young male's risk of heavy drinking increases 20% for every drop in IQ points. The study involved nearly 50,000 men between the ages of 18 and 25. Some CSUN students say they found the study to be controversial. Some agreed with the findings, while others felt heavy drinking does not relate with IQ.
I think that whether you're smart or you're dumb doesn't dictate how much you're drinking, but I do think that people that do drink more are probably a little bit dumber.
I understand maybe some dumb guys just like to hang out and drink maybe more than other people, but I don't think it's true that just dumb people drink.
So do you guys agree with the study?
Yeah. The findings do not include women because of their levels of consumption are different from men. A federal agency approves a controversial powdered alcohol product called Palcohol. Opponents worry minors might abuse the product and that Palcohol's lightweight makes it easy to sneak into public events. Palcohol hopes to have the product for sale this summer. The Alcohol and Tobacco Tax and Trade Bureau approved Palcohol briefly last spring before it changed its mind and said the label approvals had been given in error. A brewer spokesman says 4 varieties of Palcohol were approved, but states can still regulate it. Several states have already tried to ban powdered alcohol, including Colorado. Now here's Jennifer with the latest on the fallout involving the song Blurred Lines.
A jury has found recording stars Robin Thicke and Pharrell Williams liable for copyright infringement over plagiarizing the late Marvin Gaye's 1977 song, Got to Give It Up. Blurred Lines was the biggest hit song of 2013, bringing in over $16 million in profit. The jury awarded Gaye's children $7.4 million after concluding Thicke and Williams copied Gaye's music to create the hit song. Thicke and Williams' attorney says the final decision could have a chilling effect on musicians who are inspired by another artist's sound. The jury's verdict will likely be taken on appeal. Actor Johnny Depp is in need of hand surgery after being injured during filming of his new movie. Depp was seen at an airport in Australia, heading back to the States with his arm in a sling. He is expected to be out for 2 weeks, but the injury should not delay the movie's release in 2017. The latest in the Pirates of the Caribbean series, Dead Men Tell No Tales, started filming last month. The National Transportation Safety Board says a loss of engine power forced Harrison Ford to try and land his plane. The aircraft crashed onto Venice's Penmar golf course last week. Ford had told air traffic control he was having engine problems shortly after taking off from the Santa Monica Municipal Airport. He asked to return to the airport but could not make it back. The 1942 vintage plane will continue being examined by investigators, but a final report could take up to 1 year to complete.
The LA Marathon is going to start 30 minutes earlier due to record high heat forecast for this Sunday. Moving the start time from 7:25 to 6:55 in the morning allows for better spacing for the runners. The spacing protects runners from overcrowded water stations, allowing everyone to stay hydrated during the race. There will be medical assistance at the start and finish lines and every 2 miles along the course, beginning with mile 6. USC doctors suggest runners hydrate, dress appropriately, and be aware of water and aid stations. The CSUN men and women's basketball teams will be competing at the Big West Conference Tournament this weekend. The men's team ended their regular season play with a record of 9-23 and will play UC Davis in the quarterfinals. The Lady Matadors ended with an overall record of 21-9, clinching the second-place title, giving them the advantage to enter the tournament in the semifinals round. Both teams will compete in the Honda Center in Anaheim. Yes. That's all for sports. Back to you, Cristal.
Thanks, Jordan. That will do it for today's edition. From all of us here, I'm Cristal Canedo.
And I'm Ashton Smith. Thanks for watching Matador News.